You know, when Palmetto State Armory announced a while back they're coming out with a micro variant of their very popular Dagger line, I was like, all right, I love the Dagger, great, this is gonna be a comparison to like a Shield or a P365 or a Glock 43, 43X, what have you. And I was like, all right, this is gonna be good. Then I saw the mags they came out with, and they started coming out with 15 round mags, and I was like, awesome, all right, so that should run with this Dagger micro. And then I got one of these in my hand just a couple of weeks ago, now that they're shipping. Wow, I am impressed. So what is the PSA Dagger Micro? What is it compared to? Why should we care? Well, let me answer some of those questions for you right here, because this thing kind of came out and I wasn't sure what to expect, like I said earlier. What it really is something that compares closer to the X Macro, except at a fraction of the price. So let's talk about that. So the normal Dagger is like $3 or so. This is just over $3 depending on which variant you get. This is the FDE two-tone variant here with the RMSC cut on top, hosting that Swamp Fox Sentinel 2 red dot there, designed for like a micro setup like this. Super, super thin as well. Has cuts in the front for compensation. I'm no scientist, but I will say those definitely help over what I was seeing with the P365 and my Shield Plus. It also is compatible with Glock 43, 43X, and 48 frames, recoil assemblies, and barrels. So you're looking at some good parts compatibility here, as well as just a great running firearm at a very affordable price. And dare I say, now that I've shot well over 500 rounds through it, I dumped like 500 rounds the first 2 range trips. It was just a blast to shoot. It might be one of my new favorite firearms that I've picked up in recent times, just because of how well it shoots and how smooth it is. And I mean, clearly, like, you can go and place 7 yards headshots all day with this, with how it's set up. It also does have a rail slot up here. I believe it is actually the Glock kind of a rail slot up here. I need to get a proper TLR sub light in here to get that. I think I only have like a Springfield one or something, and it does not fit, it's too loose. So you need to get like the 1913 one or something on here to kind of fit that. Trigger is pretty nice. The mag release is very similar to the Dagger Compact, the full-size mag release, where it's a little bit stiff. It's always been a little bit mushy. I actually upgraded my other one. I might upgrade this one for the micro. But let's take this back to the table, get a closer look at it, and compare it to some other firearms, and you're gonna be surprised by a few different things. Especially keep note, this is a 15 round capacity magazine right here from PSA that runs really well. Super, super slick. I bet those are gonna drop in price too as well once they start getting in stock. And then you also can run the Glock 43X mags, but keep in mind those are only 10 rounds and they are a little bit sticky at times. Let's go to the table real quick. As you can see, I brought a variety of handguns to kind of compare this to directly, because it's kind of a weird spot really. I don't really have a Glock 43 or 43X, but that was the market that this is going for, especially if you get that shorter slide on here and you don't get the one with the kind of compensator on the end here with that extended longer slide. But you get the 15 round mags. They work really well. There's a couple of different variants out there, and in fact this one was the one that keeps popping up as in stock, so I picked this up. But then I was like, I really want to try if one of these Glock 43X mags, which are only 10 rounds, I don't know why you would handicap yourself for that, but maybe if you live in a state where you can only do 10 rounds, these are a great option. They do run a little bit sticky, but they kind of catch on a few things here. There are also the Shield Arms mags that are 15 rounds that are known for taking that 10 round Glock 43X capacity and bumping it up to 15 rounds. I couldn't find one of those locally to pick up to get this review done. However, I have heard you need to switch out the mag release on those because those mags will chew up the PSA mag release here. So let's talk about all shapes and sizes here and how this compares directly to them. So normally I'm carrying something like a Shield Plus. All right, now this is a 13 round capacity, 9mm. Everything here has been unloaded, by the way, and checked. But it's a very nice handgun. You can see I've carried it quite a bit, starting to show some wear on there, but it's a great handgun, runs really well. But again, 13 rounds, 15 rounds. Stack them up real quick. This is actually a little bit thinner, which is crazy to me. And obviously a little bit longer with that compensator on there, but everything else is very similar. All right, so there's that. And of course the OG here, which is the 365, the SIG P365, which was kind of known because it came out with like 10 rounds, you know, years ago, right? A little bit thinner, maybe just a hair, right? But this is only with the extended mag. This is only what, 12 rounds? And then for fun, here you go, the old Beretta here. This is a Beretta Cheetah in 380 that I picked up that we're gonna do a review on, and it's actually like almost the same size except like twice as thick. You know, she's a thick girl, OG steel carry right there. But then of course you have a couple things to look at here. You have the compact Dagger, right? This is gonna actually be a very similar size from just looking at it straight down like this. All right, except when you turn it, you see where kind of the magic happens there, and it's much thinner with the same mag capacity, 15 right now with how it's set up. Put a mag in. See that right there? So then comes to what I'm thinking this is actually comparable to, is the SIG X Macro, which I've carried quite a bit, honestly, and I actually have to do a review on it and then also a review on this new Primary Arms Red Dot as well. Now, looking at this, I want you to take a look at this real quick. All right, 17 round capacity mag, a little bit longer, right? 15 round capacity mag, and I bet PSA can squeeze out a couple more rounds. They might do an extension base plate or something, right? Take a look at this. All right, so very similar. This one's a little bit longer, half the price of the X Macro though, remember that. And then you spin it around and look right here. Look at that grip. I was kind of shocked. Thinner than the X Macro. The X Macro kind of has a bulge there, but I shoot both of these very similarly. Five rounds, PSA Dagger Micro. Five rounds, SIG P365 X Macro, over double the price of the Dagger Micro. I almost shoot this better than the X Macro, which is very interesting. So I want to bring all these out, give you an idea of how this looks compared to a lot of the other firearms on the market and where I think it fits in. That trigger is a little wonky. Everything's smoothing out though. Yeah, the trigger, it's not bad. Glock trigger, as they say. Bit of wearing. I like this almost more than my other Dagger, my actual Dagger compact. Something else to note is what this Dagger Micro comes with, and honestly, I am pretty impressed. They thought a lot about this when shipping these. When I picked up my compact, which was just called like the Dagger back years ago, right when it first started shipping, When I picked this up, it didn't look like this. I upgraded quite a bit of it. I got a base model. When I did pick it up, it just came in like a cardboard PSA box, right? Well, now this is how this is shipped to you in this nice case from PSA with really nice zippers, nice stitching. I can't complain about that. And when you open it up, no, you know, extra crap in here that you don't need. You got like a chamber flag, I think, and you have a sticker, and you also have a QR code for the manual, so you don't have to worry about extra paper. You have like a lock in here as well. But you can kind of take a look at, oh, there's anything else in here besides the lock. Yeah, just the lock here. And then you take a look at what comes with it. It comes with one mag. So that's obviously, you know, helping with the price point there. One mag strapped like this. It has a plate cover on here for an optic. Comes with these right here for the Holosun. I cannot tell you, there's a plate cover by the way. I cannot tell you how many times handguns have come with no extra screws or anything for the optic. This is really nice quality hardware with the key for it, so you can go and run these right with your optic you're running on here, which is amazing because it's so important to have high quality screws. I can't tell you how many times I've stripped out screws. Screws have fallen off. Screws are actually broken on handguns from cheaper optics that were sent out for review. And things like the Swamp Fox, they come with amazing hardware. Things like this Dagger already comes with hardware if you didn't have nice hardware right there. Nice thick, larger heads, thick threads, Loctite already. Again, one mag, but has spots for two more mags right here. Is the Glock and the 15 round PSA mag. I do want to get the plastic kind of matte mag as well, not just this slick, I think it's called, they call it like slick mag or something, I forget what it's called, but there's just a 15 round slick sided magazine. But it'd be nice to get their version of more of a Glock mag as well to test out. Super impressed with the case. Also, holster compatibility. Now, unlike the Dagger, which sometimes fits Glock holsters, right? That was the whole thing there. I went and found at a local shop this right here. This is a cheap DeSantis Pegasus holster designed for the Glock 43 and 43X. Now, I just wanted something cheap to kind of test out, shoot this a bunch more, maybe start carrying it. And what I did was I got this, and then this is actually set up for the new Alias belt system from the Neomag. We'll talk about that in a future review coming very soon. But these Dagger Micros fit the 43, 43X. Now, it's funny, it said 43X. I'm like, okay, so I was like, well, clearly they'll have a nice opening, right? And I was looking at it, I was like, oh, okay, it doesn't. So I actually chopped off the end here because it was actually pinched at the end, which is stupid. It should have just been wide open. And of course, if you do any compensators or anything like that, a lot of times if you carry those, the holster doesn't go that far down anyways. So if you had the shorter micro, you would be just fine with this DeSantis Pegasus here. But clicks in, nice, consistent draw there. Yeah, I mean, it's just a cheap solution. Once again, cheap gun, cheap solution. In fact, I think Glock is a little more edged here. You can kind of see that right there. But it still grabs on where you need it to and releases, so it still grabs onto the trigger guard right there. Now, it's important to note, does the PSA Dagger Micro run hollow points? Does it run defensive ammo? If you're gonna carry it, you gotta make sure it does. So I have 10 rounds of miscellaneous mixed bag of ball and hollow points in here from several manufacturers. 10 rounds on target. See how she shoots, see how she feels. Now YouTube, I'm gonna take this apart. This is just for cleaning, maintenance, field stripping, things like that to maintain a safe, proper working firearm. Taking this apart is very simple. It's essentially a Glock kind of takedown. So check, I can drop the mag, check again, make sure you're all empty there, pull the trigger, pull this back just a little bit, and this comes right off by pulling these two tabs down. You could just pull the tabs down, but I like pulling the slide back just a little bit, just to kind of help it pull off there. You can see this thing is super dirty because I didn't do anything to it. In fact, when I first got it, it was kind of stiff. Everything was real stiff. The trigger was stiff. The slide running on top was very, very stiff. So I just went and did a bunch of dry runs and just rack. And that really helped loosen it up. And then just dry firing the trigger really helped clean the trigger up, because when I first got this trigger, it was pretty bad. It was kind of like a Glock trigger, but maybe a little bit worse. So I'm glad to see this parts compatibility, because that might be a future video, some of the upgrades I want to do. So you might want to oil this up a little bit, because it does come super dry. They didn't put anything on it on the factory from what I can tell. But when you're done getting a little bit of oil on those rails, all you have to do, you can see right here, is line these up and then just rack it. You're good to go. It's really not hard to rack, especially with the front rack on there too. Trigger. So we talked about this. It is a weird trigger, all right? Now, I know people say Glock triggers, you know, they're just okay. Well, this is also just okay. But think about the price point as well, what you're getting these at. So it's just real heavy right here. But as a carry pistol, it's probably a good thing. You can see it doesn't really affect how I shoot that much. Very accurate. It's just a weird break, and I think it just needs to be broken into. Kind of a false reset there, if you saw that. Take a look. Right there. And that's the reset. Very mushy, but again, reliable, accurate, so I can't really, I'm not that much of a trigger snob. I'm not gonna be like, slap an Apex in there. You can, and I might, but maybe like some trigger work on here. Just keep shooting it, break it in a little bit. The other thing is the mag release. All right, that is something on the Dagger Compact that is kind of squishy. It's just a real squishy. It's not an easy release to it. I don't know what it is. I tried to fidget with the spring of the other one in the Compact. It works, but you really gotta force it. You don't want to like just light tap it. If you light tap it, sometimes, especially the other mag gets caught, like that Glock mag will get caught on there when it's coming out. You really gotta like push it. And it's just mushy. But they put all the grip in the right places. I mean, the grip is a real fine kind of sandpapery grip. But you got grip on the sides, you got nice grip on the bottom, on the back here. You don't have any finger groove, thankfully, because I actually ended up sanding mine away and re-stippling the whole thing. I hate finger grooves, especially because my hand's a little bit bigger. Finger, nice spots for your finger and your thumb to rest on there. Underneath the trigger guard itself, on the front of the trigger guard, nice deep cut there. Pretty high up, allows you to get on target pretty well. And overall, this just feels really nice in the hand. Iron sights are great, typical 3-dot iron sights there. You can kind of see that. No complaints there. And they're cut so that you can go and have the iron sights behind the optic already. And then the actual front iron sight post is right behind that compensator. And of course, the barrel is not ported or anything like that, and the compensator just kind of pops out as part of the slide just past that barrel. Let's accurately dump some mags with some of the comparisons here. So we have the Shield Plus, we have the Sig X Macro, and of course we have the new contender to the field, the Dagger Micro. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, because I really have enjoyed this handgun right here. I think it's a great option, even if you're just looking for something to have for self-defense. I mean, you can put some rounds on target fairly easily with this little guy right here. And at the price point, it makes it more affordable for a lot of folks out there looking for a budget gun that's high quality. I think this Micro really hit it out of the park. PSA is always about that kind of affordability, firearms, and freedom for all, which is great to hear. A lot of content creators aren't getting these in because they can't keep up with the demand. I talked to the guys at PSA. I ended up buying this myself. Everything here, bought for myself. So if you wouldn't mind hitting subscribe, like this video, drop a comment below. It really helped me out. And if you're interested in looking at more about this firearm, and also the different variants, there's a bunch of variants out there, different colors, a lot of different options coming out. Take a look at the links down below. It can take you right to this page here. So that was 15 rounds with the Dagger Micro. Here's my nice OG carry shield, which a full mag is a little bit stiff, a little bit stout on this thing. A little bit shorter barrel, should be a little bit more recoil as well, but it still shoots really well. It's a great trigger. But you can tell it's a little snappier, right? Now, for almost twice the price of the Dagger Micro is one of my favorites though. It is the SIG P365 X Macro, 17 round mags, but it has a different grip angle entirely and it just feels different, a little bit thicker grip as you saw. But it racks real easy, has that same kind of compensated slide on there. Just that red dot's on, here we go. It is a TAC Driver 10 round Glock 43X mag, Dagger Micro. Took a sec to get used to that grip angle. It's totally different. The only thing I don't like about the grip actually is that right there. I got big hands, like I get it. It's gonna help with the beveled, kind of slightly beveled front there. I don't know. And that mag release, but just minor things, right? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay safe out there, train hard at the range, take care of those you love, and we'll see you in the next review.